Whoa, 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 whoa. Stop what you're doing. Okay. If you like this video and you like the other content on my channel, please hit the like button on this video. Also, go hit subscribe, like right now. And also, when you hit subscribe, click the bell so you can get notifications whenever I put out a new video. So, thanks. All right. Enjoy the rest of the video.
On it, and the announcement of a negotiated budget agreement that quite literally we had members who were presenting portions of the budget in committee that they confessed to the committee, we just got this 5 minutes before the committee. So you know all bets are off.
Yeah, so tell me a bit about the budget and what was in it. What exactly all was in the budget?
Well, so we can start with kind of a high level overview. About 8.22% more spending than last year. And I teased my Republican colleagues about how I never thought I would hear the day when they would be crowing over the fact that they grew government by 8.22%. I said, you guys should just join my party and then we can have a real conversation about priorities. There was not a single place that they actually cut government at all. And for somebody who sat and listened to a governor campaigning and a lot of the Republicans campaigning for office on a waste, fraud, and inefficiency, and were able to find 10% easy. I told them I was frankly disappointed that I didn't see any recommendations from any of the governor's appointees on anything that they could do differently to save the state money. So maybe we're running a little better than they thought, and maybe it's a little harder to actually find those inefficiencies than they thought. But they're at least I'm trying to get them to eat a little bit of crow over what it was they had been saying. In terms of the actual budget itself and the priorities, I'm disappointed that the state was not more judicious in doing investments with money. We had an opportunity, for instance, to in the last week of session, we had a bill that would remove the sales tax on commercial trailers, the sale of commercial trailers. And it's going to cost the state about $12.5 million. And we were told that we needed to do that because, in 2017, when they put the sales tax on motor vehicles, they inadvertently added it to commercial vehicles and commercial trailers. Well, in 2019, we removed it from commercial vehicles. And this year they said they wanted to remove it from commercial trailers. What they didn't remove it from was your car and my car. And so I introduced a motion as we were debating the bill to change that and apply the sales tax exemption to all motor vehicles, which is what it used to be. And that was voted down by all the Republicans. So I guess they believe that it's okay to take money from us, just not from businesses. In terms of other, tax cuts, we cut the corporate sale or the corporate income tax from 6% to 4%. And we were told we needed to do that so we could be competitive with the state of Texas. Well, it's true that Texas does not have a corporate income tax. I keep hearing that from my Republican colleagues, but I pointed out on the floor that they have something far different and far more expansive. They don't just tax income, they tax every single penny that a business earns. So all business revenues. And so they bring in gazillions of dollars off of this gross receipts tax. And yet businesses keep going to Texas. Why is that? Well, because of better quality of life there. They invest in their people. And here in Oklahoma, we choose instead to tar and feather our teachers and give them gag orders on what they can talk about in classrooms. And we fail to fund mental health, even though in 2016 the people voted that we should do that. So lots of priorities that were wrong in this budget. The House Democrat Caucus had requested and put forth a proposal to eliminate the sales tax, the state's portion of the sales tax on groceries. And that would have cost the state about $400 million, which is roughly what we're going to wind up giving away to corporations on the corporate income tax. So you and I could be paying less for groceries, but instead business owners will be taking more money home. Education got about $170 million, common education, which, sounds great. And I know teachers will welcome that. But one of the things I heard as part of that discussion was, well, we're going to include an additional 27 million for textbooks. So every single kid in the state of Oklahoma can have a textbook. And I thought, how can you be proud of the fact that we weren't funding a textbook for every kid? That just, it made me shake my head. It is enough money that we will return to House Bill 1017 classroom sizes for kindergarten and first grade students. And House Bill 1017 goes all the way back to 1991. So, way back 30 years, which may predate you.
Yeah.
But
Yeah,
one of the things that 1017 said was that elementary school teachers should have no more than 20 students. Actually, it started at 20 and was supposed to go down to 18. We're putting it back to 20. So no more than 20 kids in a classroom. And that's really, really important for teachers as they're trying to maintain discipline and they're trying to do individualized instruction and trying to keep up with things like homework. You start getting those larger class sizes, it's a problem. So we gave them additional funding. And the law says if we gave them enough money, they had to go back to those 1017 class sizes for kindergarten and first grade. So we did our part. Now they're going to have to go hire teachers to go staff those classrooms. And I'm not sure where they're going to find them. We don't have enough teachers as it is. We're currently pursuing a warm body approach to putting people in classrooms instead of finding qualified teachers and certified teachers. And so I suspect there'll be more of that. Probably more than you wanted to know about the budget.
Oh no, that's plenty that I wanted to know. I had no idea about any of that. But yeah, the tax cuts, wasn't there also an income tax break as well?
Yep.
Yeah,
Personal income tax. That went from 5% to 4.75%. So if your family makes somewhere between $50,000 and $54,000 a year, the projection is you're going to save about $82 in income tax. So a little bit of a cut. Half the median income in the state of Oklahoma is $52,000 a year.
Mm-hmm.
So half of all households in Oklahoma make $52,000 or less. So for the vast majority of folks, including people who live in my district, they're going to see a nominal amount at best. I mean, $82, nothing to sneeze at. I mean, that's 12 hours worth of minimum wage employment, right? But if you took a look at, say, the grocery tax, right? And we just cut the state side of grocery tax. If your family spends $300 a month on groceries, you would save $162 a year. So double what you'd get from that quarter point cut. Where it's really going to help folks is going to be on the top end. If I'm making $300,000 a year, a quarter percentage point adds up. So, but for your common ordinary folks, that it's really kind of meaningless. There was an earned income tax restoration as part of that, which I was glad to see finally happen. It was in 2016. Same time they did the sales tax on the automobiles, they eliminated the earned income tax for Oklahoma families. And for those who don't know, that's that tax credit is money that goes to poor working families. You have to be working to earn the income tax credit. And they eliminated it in 2016. They restored a portion of it in 2018. And they made it non-refundable, which means if your tax bill goes below zero, you didn't get any of the credit. And so this year they finally made it fully refundable. So, say you were supposed to get back $200 in earned income tax credit, but you only owed $100 in taxes. So under the new rules, you'd get back $100. So better than nothing. It's the way the federal side of things works on the federal earned income tax. And, again, I was teasing my Republican colleagues. Teasing might not be the right word, maybe chiding. So you guys do realize this is a Republican thing, right? You're paying people a little extra to give them incentive to work. It was something that Richard Nixon brought and Ronald Reagan expanded, and you guys act like you don't remember any of that. So,
Yeah. Do you think that there's possibly going to be a budget shortfall next year with all the taxes that they cut?
no, unless there's a real significant downturn in the economy. The bigger challenge, I think, will probably be 2, 3 years, 4 years out, because that time will come.
Mm-hmm.
Right now, the economy seems to be doing fairly well. But it's boom and bust here in Oklahoma, always has been. You can look over the last 2 decades, and I think we've had half of the years where we had some kind of revenue failure, including 6 in the last decade. And so it's coming. It's only a matter of when. And when it does, I told my Republican colleagues, you folks will hate me because you'll need my vote. It was 28 years after the passage of State Question 640 before the legislature was finally able to raise taxes. And, it should not be an easy thing to raise taxes. I get it. But it should also be a difficult thing to cut taxes. And to me, I talk to a lot of folks who initially say, oh, absolutely, we pay way too much in taxes. And as we talk about it, what I think most people believe is that they don't believe their taxes are being spent well. And if they believed that they were getting value for their money, they wouldn't mind paying for taxes. Here in Oklahoma City, I point to the MAPS projects, and people don't have a problem voting for an additional penny because they see the results of the money being spent, and they see the transformation that's happened in Oklahoma City. So we just need to invest wisely with the people's money and show good return for it. And then people, I think, will be willing to pay taxes.